Oh, baby, we're going live. Can you believe it?
Well, why are we going live when I'm trying to share shit? That just makes it disgusting.
You can't share it until it's live. If
I
not,
can.
I don't believe you can.
I'm sharing it, son of a bitch.
Oh, I don't think you're lying to me.
No, I'm completely lying to you.
I knew it.
Or I'm sharing it. So shut up. There we go, baby. Hi everybody. This is Big Luke. That's Funkmaster B's sideburn. Kind of look like Elvis right there.
All right, calm down. I know that excites you.
Oh yeah. I'm sitting here in my robe, just enjoying life, man.
Are you?
Yeah.
I haven't talked to you in a couple of days. I'm
a robe wearing kind of guy.
Me too. I actually put a shirt on just for this.
So we had a great filming weekend. Oh, hi, I'm Big Luke, Funkmaster B over there the other way. We're big and funky. Travis was going to try to join us, but Travis, we make Travis up. Travis is a puppet played by my son Mikey.
Most of the time.
Yeah, we had a great filming weekend or filming day Saturday, man. We got so much done, kind of streamlined style, that we did 126 gigabytes of memory, and probably.
I didn't want to tell you this here, but it's all erased accidentally.
If you pulled a Luke, I'm gonna have to smack you around a little bit, because some of those shots of you and Candy during a certain scene were freaking brilliant.
I felt what was interesting is, and I guess we'll just talk like this, like anybody understands what we're talking about. But
if they don't understand that we're talking about, the movie we're filming, The Hike, why are they watching us?
Well, there's other things we do. In fact, it's been a pretty good week, man. I mean, we've had a lot of interaction, not only about no, but
right.
A lot of interaction with the websites we have and YouTube and all that stuff. Got a lot of messages and stuff about Wrestling with Ghosts and our comedy videos. Got a comment on your My Pillow commercial, and got a comment on Wrestling with Ghosts show, and we got people asking about how to get a Sci TV in Norway and Denmark, and so they can see Wrestling with Ghosts. So it's been
like we assumed. We are probably going to do much better in European markets than we are here in America, because America is a great country. We are probably the most rich and technologically advanced and country in America, but for some reason
we're the most technological
in the world, but we are also kind of the most self-centered. And I'm not taking me and you out of that equation. I mean, our lives revolve around us, but it's just like you try to get anybody to watch anything you're doing, even if they think they'll like it, even if they do like it, and they'll still be like, oh well, I didn't. I've had since we started filming this movie or talking about filming this movie, I've had at least 100 people want to be in the movie, and why can't I make a movie? And I'm like, dude, we're making this movie. This isn't something we're like we signed on to do. This if you want to be in a movie, write your own damn movie.
Well, you don't have to be so. People just don't understand that. And in fact, somebody contacted me. You won't. But ever since we started doing this movie, it's unbelievable what people have come across, and all of a sudden they think just because we're shooting this movie that we have some sort of connections, and we do in a way, but all of this is years and years of me and you fighting, and trying to figure out what we need to do and what's the most profitable thing and the most fun thing to get our entertainment out there, and we've tried YouTube, we've tried television, we've tried Netflix, we've tried local wrestling shows, we've tried podcasts, we've had marginal success, you know, in certain things, and we failed in certain things. And it's, at the end of the day, it's like the only thing you can control, and this is the thing I'm most selfish about, is I want to control what we do. I don't want it to be edited by anybody else. I don't want there to be producers telling me and you what we can't do. So this is all just hustle and fuss, and we've actually spent thousands and thousands of dollars on this particular movie, and we'll probably have to come out of pocket a little bit more. But I think this, of all the things we've ever done, this the big and funky project, this is the one that could be the most profitable and the most seen.
Well, and it's also probably, you know, some of our, it's going to be our best work. I've already, you know, just from the stuff we've already filmed, but that's kind of what I've had a lot of people message me and contact me about our connections and how to get in here. I'm like, dude, any connection is something that we've cultivated over time, with a lot of hustle and a lot of, and we're using them right now. So I'm not going to pass them on. You want to make connections, make your own. And if we can make some for you later on down the road, because there was a long time, especially with the Wrestling with Ghosts thing, where I told everybody, I was like, hey man, you know, come along for the ride. You know, we're here. Come along for the ride. Get us a location. We'll make a show together. Have a good time. Now I'm not on that train anymore. You know, we're in a car. We're not leading a train with a bunch of people that can jump on the back. We've got to drive our own car. We've got to make our way now, and we've got to, you know, maybe down the road again, because I got to tell you honestly, and Funk knows a lot of people that have done this to me, is I've put over a lot of people and passed on a lot of connections, and even got people onto, you know, network TV shows that have then gone ahead and bombed it and screwed me over and stabbed. And one guy, and we won't mention any names, I got him lined up with a show out of the kindness of my heart, just because he fit a description that we kind of needed. And then the guy talks to the producer, stabs me in the back so hard that the show got tanked. You know, Netflix, kind of the same deal. I mean, you know, the guy was, we're all being cool. Next thing you know, he flipped out and tanked that show. I can't take those risks with my own, with our own movie. I can't. No, I can't allow people in that are gonna tank what we're doing.
It's hard to get an opportunity to get in front of somebody's ear, to get somebody who wants to invest money in something that you can create. Because at this point, you know, we're 45 years old. We're nobodies worldwide. I mean, we may be local celebrities, or hell, we're maybe
huge, still huge in Gabon, Africa.
Gabon, Africa, where the frickin' they got billboards of us. But they, you know, most, you know, we got to fight and scrap before we become like 69 years old. That's a weird number, Freudian number to come up with, but before we
get trying to say something, what's going on here, man?
Before we get so old that nobody gives a shit, and we got to, you know, we were trying to help people before we helped ourselves. I think that was the biggest problem, and now we gotta focus on taking care of number one, and then Travis just sent me a message. He said, I'll be on the chat room because I can't. He goes, I don't even have enough service to get the damn thing to load up. So he's got a beautiful house out there on Jones Cove, but I mean, I don't know how he knows anything on the internet, or how he has cable television.
Yeah, I don't even think satellites get to his house.
That's how bad it is. But you know, we got to take care of ourselves. That's what we're doing this time. And again, a lot of this has to do with us getting better. Somebody mentioned an old skit that I did 9 years ago, and I thought it was very funny at the time. And it was a wrestling promo. And I was watching it today. The audio was terrible. It was dark, you know, and just, these are things that you learn along the way, that if we could reshoot it now, it would be, you know, 5-star hilarious. Of course, in 10 years, we'd probably look at it and go, wow, we needed to do this, this, and this. But it's all a maturation of learning how do you make a television show? How do you pitch that? You know, and that's the thing about what me and you are doing. It's difficult too. Is for the last 36 hours, I've done nothing except design trailers, websites and been pushing our stuff to newspapers and making press releases all over the globe. And it's hard work. So, I mean, it's not only are we acting, are we directing, are we writing, are we casting, are we location scouting, we're promoting, we're figuring out how to edit, we're figuring out how to pitch this thing, how to get it publicized. And it's a lot of work. It's not just sit on your ass and have a couple of beers and shoot a video, which I guess you could do, but we're beyond that.
Well, I mean, Sid, there's been a lot of people that have made really, really bad movies that have made a lot of money with them, and we're trying to make a very excellent movie and make a little bit of money with it, because we've got other ideas. You know, this is hopefully just movie one of several. The next one, you know, I'm sitting here talking about, you know, we're doing this on our own, and you know, because nobody until we started production stepped up and wanted to help at all, except for Tony Covington, who did a great job Saturday. You know, Michael Stanley's always there. Keith Gavins, he's always there to help out. And, you know, there's Kirby has been, you know, wanting to help out and everything. But other than that, it's too late to jump on the train. But now the next movie that I just had an idea for, I think that we could do a full collaboration with other paranormal teams. Because is that Travis calling in? Oh, it's Lenny Kravitz.
Lenny Kravitz again. He's still tore up about Bonet and the mimosas.
Lenny's got to leave you alone, man. I mean, how many times can you tell him it's just time to you know, move on?
Well, he doesn't have a lot of people to talk to, man. I mean, everybody's just like, yeah, black dude playing rock.
He lives in like Cuba or something now, or something weird.
Well,
like
that, and he plays like all his, like he plays rock and roll in A major. You know, he's a strange cat. But
no, I think because the idea I had, and this is, you know, I'm not gonna shy away from it, and you know, I hate to talk about the next movie while working on the current one, but man, I think a full-on comedy about a paranormal team, being us and Candy and Travis, that get killed on a paranormal investigation, and instead of going into the light, we all decide, you know, something's going to happen that goes wrong or weird or stupid, where we don't go to the light because we want to screw with other paranormal teams. I mean, there's, you know, that's the idea, and then we'll, you know, flush out a plot and everything. But I mean, that sounds like it's got a chance for a lot of comedy to it. And if we get it with other paranormal teams and talk to them about, you know, like funny experiences they had, and what if it was, you know, us screwing with them, and, you know, I think that's a chance for big comedy, because this movie started out with several different ideas. You know, it was, you know, you had your brother's stories from things that happened to him. We had the Spearfinger episode that we did, but one of the things that we've always kind of talked about is, you know, like, what would happen if, you know, Michael Myers decided, you know, he always messes with teenagers and kids and girls, and what would happen if he walked up on me, you, Candy, and Travis, and we just all pulled guns and knives on him? We'd fuck that guy up. And that you know, that almost is kind of where this went, is why, you know, it's always kids in the woods. It's always, you know, teenagers doing teenager stuff. But, you know, the real horror audience was big in the 80s, and they're us. They're 45 years old. You know, it's why the Impractical Jokers made it so big, is because the fans of Sam Kinison and Dice Clay and George Carlin and Eddie Murphy, they grew up, you know, we're all the same age, and we grew up. You know, that's where they made a mistake with some movies, like Transformers and even Star Wars, to effect, is they tried to make, you know, the Star Wars prequels, they tried to make them to kids, but, you know, the people that loved Star Wars were 30 years old at the time. The people that loved Transformers were 35 years old at the time. You know, you got to make a movie for those people, not for kids, because you know, we grew up, but we still love that stuff. And with horror, we still love old horror movies. Not too many people like new horror movies, so we have to placate and play to the older crowd. And I think putting older, middle age is always a weird thing. I can't ever figure out.
I'm not living to 90. I think I'm
Yeah.
over middle age.
Yeah. But I mean, put people, average age of 40 years old in a horror movie. See what happens instead of it always being pretty 23-year-olds.
Well, we'll see. Jack says she's down with that, and we'll see. And if this movie does well, you've got an actual idea, and we shouldn't talk about that idea actually at all, because
no, I don't want that stolen.
That will get stolen. But I think you have a fella up in Chicago who's a writer that's interested in writing that script, but if we produce that, that's going to be an actual. That's going
to be money. That's going to be. We'll have to buy even more equipment.
Yeah, we'll have to get investors on that. But
or we be the investors if we make enough money. But like, I tried to look at that movie and really knock it down to what the bare minimum costs. Yeah. Whoa, Funk! Got an earthquake going over there. What's going on, Beirut?
They ever figure out what happened to Beirut?
They said it was like a 2,000-ton bomb, just like the one that went, a fertilizer bomb, like the one that went off in Oklahoma City that was only like 200 pounds. They said that was like 2,000 tons.
It was a terrorist attack. It wasn't a mistake or a fire or something like that.
I don't know. But they did say it was a huge fertilizer bomb.
So somebody set it off. It was an intentional.
I'd say we're going to go that's what it's going to end up being.
Okay.
But anyway, no, because have you watched any recent horror movies?
Not really, man. I mean,
terrible.
That's the thing about this movie. I think is going to be somewhat cool. Is it's going to be different, and like we're shooting this somewhat in chronological order, not specifically, but there's a lot of comedy in the beginning, and I think when we got done shooting last weekend, we were starting to get into the horror of it, and I think Candy was knocking it out of the park. And, she was kind of, she was doing good in the comedy and stuff, but she was kind of just like laughing and staring at me. When it was started to get kind of scared and it starts to get scary, I think,
she took the lead.
Yeah. Well, yeah, she that scene that we had in the cabin, of course, I don't know what we can talk about, but the scene that we had in the cabin where we were running out of the cabin and she's got my hand and she's upset. I mean, that to me, I was like, damn, this is a freaking real situation here. This is a real movie.
Well, that's as the guy behind the camera watching you guys, I was so impressed with that, that series of scenes, the acting level, it even on set, it went from, lighthearted, just a romantic hike in the woods to boom. It got real and filmed a scene and said it just looking at it through the camera. Candy could own this world if she wants to.
Oh, she might.
That girl, not only is she a great, front man for music with a great, progressive metal voice, man, her acting chops and her looks, her talent was, it shot through the camera lens, and I was ridiculously, because we were out there for hours. It's hot, we're sweating. She's got her dreads up in a ponytail, and she's still just her facial tics were just amazing. And then you go over to you, and you had the attention breaker moment, and it hit just right. Right after she said something she improvised something that's probably going to be like the tagline in trailers and stuff. It's
right on.
So her talent level is just it's ridiculous.
I'm a little nervous about this weekend with the weather. We got a lot of people coming in, and once we get past this weekend, I feel like we're going to be in a good situation, because after this weekend, The shooting days will either be vignettes, which will be 1 or 2 scenes that we do with friends of ours, which will be fun. A lot of these scenes are going to be fun and interesting, and like vignettes, like in a wrestling promo or something. Or there'll be specific scenes, like 5 or 6 scenes of that's going to be in a chunk of a particular situation.
Well, no, me and you are going to have a grueling day somewhere in the near future. I don't want to throw off what it's about, but I mean it's the action meat of the movie, and we're gonna beat the shit out of ourselves that day, man.
It's gonna be rough. We're gonna do it, making it look good, as Dusty Rose said. You ever see that promo in wrestling where the 4 horsemen slam his hand in the door and break his arm? I know you weren't much of it. Anyway, you can, if you watch that again and you can hear and you listen to it, because they really slammed his hand in the door. I don't know why they did that. They should have gimmicked it, but they really
assholes.
Yeah, they really slammed it. But he screamed out loud. You can hear it. He goes, "Make it look good." So he wanted to get hurt, man. But they had enough money back then to pay for doctor bills out the ass when they broke hands and fingers and stuff. So.
Well, I've got health insurance, so if
I do too. So we got them both beat.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm looking forward to this all coming together, and I am nervous about this weekend because me and Travis and Scott Lane are filming most of our scenes Saturday, and it's supposed to be beautiful. It's supposed to be like 82 and sunny, partly cloudy, no rain, and then they just upped Sunday, which is the day that we have we're filming other people. We're filming. And one actress is coming in from Knoxville, another's coming all the way in from Little Rock. And it's up to a 60% chance of rain. And that's the drone shots day.
Well, we may have to postpone that. That's the thing.
The problem is if we postpone that, we have to recast both girls. And I want Kirby in this movie.
We have to. Well, we don't know. Kirby could come later. We got to tell her before she leaves. Did you already ask her off work and all that shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk to her. In fact, this is a little aside here. Wrestling with Ghost 3.3, which has not been made yet or aired yet on Asai TV, we go up to the Horsefly Chronicles house, and they supposedly live in a house that's haunted, and we went up there in Easton, PA, and did an investigation, and that'll be an interesting episode for sure. But they seem to have licked the demon.
Ew.
Somehow. Tastes like schnozzleberries, and chocolate. But anyway, they say that the demon's hemmed up, and it was a demon or something up there. And Kirby's actually going to be on the Horsefly Chronicles radio show tonight.
Oh yeah, 10 o'clock on.
Yep, and I'm actually going to listen to that because I want to see what she has to say and what they have to say because.
You just want to hear if she brings your name up. I know. I always listen to every podcast you do without me just to see what you say about me.
Do I normally mention you at least once?
Yeah, but I mean, you should put me over, which is nice,
Well, we're a team. I hope I do. I hope I don't sit there and go, "Thank Christ, Luke's not here." God, that scene-stealing son of a whore.
God, we did a 3-hour podcast Sunday night.
Monday night.
Was that Monday night? No, it was Sunday night.
Sunday night.
Oh man, I mean, that's
like half a day of work.
Yeah, it was exhausting.
It was,
and it was funny. It was funny because it was 3 individual hours with music breaks. First hour, me and you were lucid, man. We were just, and then the second hour, we were kind of. Third hour, went back to.
I thought we felt pretty good. I mean, how many words do you think Tessa said in that whole thing?
Maybe 4 sentences.
She was like, "Hi guys," and it was like, blah, 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 blah. We don't.
And you can't let us talk on somebody else's radio show because we're just going to start talking about stuff that nobody knows what we're talking about, or we'll start, planning dinner for the next week. You kind of got to guide us a little bit. But that Tessa is great. That I guess she's got a whole. I looked at all the links and she's on like every single podcast platform ever. I think she's even on MySpace and Limewire.
MySpace. Is Limewire still a thing? You made a reference. Somebody made a reference recently to Limewire. No, it was on the. That was on the episode of Spearfinger from last year that we just aired on a side TV, Wrestling with Ghosts. You said something like, "Did you know what Limewire was to Spearfinger?" That was pretty funny.
Yeah, that's getting viruses on our cameras. Hey, you know, I yesterday at work, if anybody, you know, my shoot job, was I'm a floor supervisor at a restaurant, and I found in one day 2 different types of people that can fuck right off. I was literally disgusted with humanity yesterday because of 2 people that can just go themselves.
2 types of people or 2 individuals? 2
individual people that represent a genre of whoever they are. They probably don't know each other. I'm sure they don't go to clubs, but I'm going to tell you the first one. The second one, I literally luckily I had a mask on or I'd have thrown up. First one, this guy orders a $26 medium rare ribeye. $26. Kid's probably 22, 23 years old. Beautiful steak. It comes out. It's
at a shrimp restaurant.
Yeah, but I mean, we have great steaks. And this, you know, the steak looked beautiful, and it had a skewer of shrimp across it, and then he reaches over across the table and grabs A1 and dumps A1 all over a $26 medium rare ribeye. Fuck right off, dude. What you just insulted the cow. That cow now is going to haunt you because you're an asshole that put A1 is for 2 things: shitty steaks like a $3 flank steak, or to put on steak fries. You don't.
Or also, if you burn hamburger, something like that, so the meat don't turn out quite right, you put the A1 on it. But if you had a good place.
But to cover a steak, a beautiful, well-seasoned steak.
Why would you order a steak at that point? Why don't you just order hamburger meat and put the stuff on there?
Why don't you just order, like these assholes now that just keep ordering, come to a seafood shrimp restaurant and order chicken tenders. If you're 40 years old and ordering chicken tenders, had a whole family of people do that yesterday. They all ordered. I was like, why didn't you just go to get some McNuggets? But here's the second person that can fuck right off. All right. Literally.
Yep.
They get their food and they order shrimp New Orleans, which is a grilled shrimp with it's in New Orleans, like a New Orleans bourbon sauce. And it's beautiful the way that it's presented, and it's on rice and everything, and it's grilled shrimp. This bitch this bitch starts dunking grilled shrimp into tartar sauce. Ew. What the are you? What country? I mean, it was, and when I saw it, I had to go to the general manager. I was like, dude, we're going to have to kick this woman out. Like, we're going to have to, I can't be, out here trying to glad hand the table, be like, hey, have you enjoying your meal so far? And I'd just walk up and just take a dump in her plate and tell her to dunk that into some tartar sauce. A tartar sauce on grilled shrimp. It's like these assholes with the mayonnaise on the hot dogs. Who does this? I'll tell you who does this. And I guarantee I know where they're both from. Ohio. Them damn Ohio people.
Tess is in the chat room.
Hey, Tess.
Is Tessa from Ohio? No, she
lived in Morristown. Yeah, she lived in Morristown for a while. No, her show was great. 3 hours was exhausting, but I mean, we did it.
She does that 2 nights a week. Well, that actually doing that show, I actually was okay. I actually did her show when it was on Spaced Out Radio.
I listened. It was great.
That was about a year ago, but that was 3 hours. I can fucking talk. that made me think about doing terrestrial radio. I got a friend named Terry Styles. I'll lie. He's not my friend. He's a guy that I know. He's a promoter in wrestling, but he actually is a disc jockey. But terrestrial radio is so jacked up. This guy is my age or even older, black dude, and is like a funketeer, like DJ in South Central Tennessee. He's effing doing country radio in Knoxville. He put on a Facebook the other day. He was like, I have no idea what I'm going to do for the show today. And I was like, brother, I don't even know.
Just do the juice heart, man.
I could not do, I could not do country radio, but that's how bad it is. That's the only job that guy can get to feed his family.
Well, I mean, me and you I'd love to do, me and you wanted to do FM radio, but the type of FM radio that we would do is gone.
It is.
You know, it's dead. It's been dead for a long time. And we don't want to do like a wacky morning zoo. We'd want to do something, you know, interesting, funny, but, you know, the closest thing now is like a Joe Rogan style. But, man, I'd love to do FM radio the way it was, but if we did it like if
in the 90s,
nobody would hire us if we tried to do a 90s style me and you show, because we would get canceled. You know, we would get cancel cultured. We'd get cancel cultured so quick. You know?
Yeah, there was so much great radio back when Mancow and when Howard Stern and others, even Don Imus to a degree. You would have these giant cast of characters, and you could do storylines through the 3-hour break, and you could do, you know, there was all sorts of stuff you could do.
Have you ever listened to these assholes, John Boy and Billy?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they're the freaking worst thing. It's just like, hey, John, this is John Boy. Billy, what are you doing? Nothing. Oh, you're not doing a thing. You're on the radio.
Yeah, well, they've been
shut up.
They were pretty good about 20 years ago, man. But I think, how do you do something for 30-something years? How do you?
Last time I listened to them was about 2 years ago, and they were making a Ike Turner joke. Ike Turner.
Right.
Does anybody under the age of 40 even know who Ike Turner is at this? They don't even know who Tina Turner is at this point. And they're making Ike Turner jokes. I'm like, guys, it's time to walk away.
Well, right. I mean, they were, like I said, they were funny 20 years ago. They had a top 10 list, top 10 things you might be a redneck Jedi Knight. And that was one of the best things they did. And one of them, like number 7, was you use the Force to jiggle the handle on the toilet when you don't get up from the couch. I thought that was a pretty good. Or if you've ever taken down a TIE fighter with a potato gun, that was a pretty good one.
Yeah, but I mean,
if you ever opened a beer, if you ever opened a beer with a lightsaber, that was a pretty good one.
Man, we shot a hole through a neighbor's house with a potato gun once. That was oops. But you know what? You really don't realize how fast you can run until you shoot a hole in your neighbor's house with a baked potato.
That guy that we used to know, Jeremiah, blew up a cabin. He said they put a 10-minute. This is how crazy Tennessee is, everybody. This is where we're shooting our movie too. But they put enough TNT or dynamite into a cabin. They had a 10-minute fuse. Does that sound right?
Probably.
They run to the car, get in the car, and drive, and they hear the explosion. The windows, 10 minutes after they set the fuse, the windows on the car shimmy, and they're taking off down the highway, and they still, 10 minutes in the car, they see debris flying and hitting the vehicle. That's jacked up, man. They used too much dynamite. I'm surprised. They probably killed a few animals that night, too. They probably killed Bambi.
Well, you add alcohol onto easily accessible large pieces of fireworks in the South with people with really not a lot to do and a lot of frustrations from, dumb shit's going to happen, you know?
Hey, I'm starting to get a little tan.
You don't tan.
I got a nice little glow going. This is pretty good for me.
Oh, man.
I wonder if Jeremiah was in Beirut a couple days ago.
Oh, We're going to get canceled. We're going to get canceled.
Hey, really? I didn't do it.
I hope, that is a weird worry I have, as, like when we signed up with Netflix, they did you had to delete your Facebook page and everything, because it's like, man, anything you might have said could be taken, and anything I might have said, I had to go back and I deleted a bunch of posts that I was like, I didn't think this is controversial, but
I've confused so many people by getting the new Facebook for Netflix and then deciding screw it, and then trying to re-add. Everybody's like, what are you doing? And I was like, don't, it's convoluted. And I've lost like friends along the way. I'll notice Facebook friends. I'll be like, oh shoot, I lost that guy or that chick. I like them. Oh,
well, we had, we learned the hard way. The first time we signed a contract, it was a 9-month contract where we weren't allowed to do anything.
Jesus, was it 9 months?
9
It was
months.
9 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
9 months we weren't allowed to do anything.
That was the Harlan deal. That was the one out of Los Angeles, the ABC one. Yeah.
And the contract never went anywhere. Nothing happened to it. And
our freaking contact left the damn company immediately. Yeah. Oh, that was the Canadian one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was JV.
Yeah.
Yeah. The person that had us signed, our representation there, she quit. And nobody told us. Same thing happened with Glass. Is the people that signed us left, but we learned quick when you signed that contract and they're like, you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do that. Fuck them, we're doing it.
No kidding. We wasted a lot of time.
Yeah, we lost all of our momentum. We were rolling strong until we signed that shit, and then gone. Our momentum.
I'm glad we don't have anything. Because this Netflix deal that went tits up, that slowed us down too. We got a little complacent because we thought if we get on Netflix, we're going to have so much residual viewership to basically fuel what we want to do independently, like on a side TV and ghost hunting and making comedy shows and stuff.
Well, and what really kind of screwed us is we signed it, or we signed on with Netflix right before the quarantine hit.
Yep.
And I mean, be honest, that deal might still be on. I think it is actually. Yeah, I have not heard that we're not doing it.
It's just because nothing is being produced. That's why. Yeah. That's why it's exciting to think that we're going to make this movie in a vacuum.
Yeah.
So when people are going to be dying for new entertainment,
well, they're going to contact the other guy that we're working with, and I mean, I'm sure the Netflix deal's done. I'm sure it's even if it's still on, it won't be with us. But
just got a question that said, when will you be debuting your movie? When will you be premiering your movie? And it's not in the can yet, but it will be, I think, October or September. And we will, I think what Luke and I, of course, me and him have to talk still, but I think what we're going to do is take it independently to theaters around the Southeast and Midwest and try to get some hype for it, and just kind of have some premieres, and also see what we can do in the next, I guess when spring comes around, what we can do with drive-in theaters and festivals and stuff like that. I've been contacted by 2 distributors already, which is kind of weird, but that's the good thing about social media, contacts and people seeing things. And I think everybody's going to be really pleased. I'm really pleased with Candy's involvement right now. Like I spent a couple hours and a night designing our website, which hasn't launched yet. And I stole the code from the old Blair Witch Project website because I always liked how creepy that felt. And so I made this intro movie. And you were like, it's a little wordy. I said, it's a little wordy. And she's like, dude, I don't like the logo. And so, I mean, I like the fact that people are involved and care enough to where they're like, let's make it even better. Let's make it even sexier. You know what I mean? And it's like, I want to polish this thing until it's perfect.
That's what I kind of had to learn directing this thing is sometimes I got to be stiff with you guys.
Yeah, you have to.
You know, because and we have to be stiff with each other on this because
you can't see how you
half-assed.
You can't see yourself. So when you're in the moment, you don't know if you're kicking ass or you look stupid or you got a booger in your nose or whatever. You need people to be like, look, man, I was about to say a fly flying. This is the first house fly I've seen all year. One just flew by. And I'm not missing the bugs, by the way. That does suck running around the woods. But you do have to be stiff. And that's the thing. And I think everybody's in love with this project. And that's what I'm excited about is this. Not only is it plays with the paranormal stuff that we enjoy. And we're talking about Spearfinger and that kind of jazz. And that connects to our Wrestling with Ghosts history. It's a couple stories from my brother, and it's kind of neat to get him involved, and that's directly involved with another TV show that we produce. And it's kind of like this whole synergy thing where we're all taking the best of some of our history. And what's cool is how we're shooting this. There's stories that involve me winning the judo championship in Memphis. There's stories that involve you being a cop. There's stories of us being in the wrestling. And all of these little weird histories are going to be interjected into this movie. And I think that's to me, that's like the exciting thing. And then the fight scene is actually going to take a lot of the pro wrestling attributes that me and you and Travis can do. And
well, that's what I always say about we use all of our assets, man.
Well, now he can throw an axe, so we're going to have him throwing like 99 axes. You know, he can circumcise a gnat at 12 yards with a damn axe now. And the other thing is that we get to score. You know, we never talk about us being musicians, but we get to score this movie.
That's what's probably going to take the longest time. Is us sitting, you know, because I want to sit down with the final cut and play the themes and everything over it. I've watched so much stuff about how John Williams scores movies, and like he doesn't come in with an idea. He feels what the scene needs at the time. And if you've seen what he's done with Star Wars and the first two Harry Potter movies, it's unbelievable. And I've got
I don't know about Harry Potter, but everybody likes him.
Well, no, if you watch the first Harry Potter movie and don't even watch the movie, just listen to the score. It's brilliant how it mashes in with what's going on the screen. And, John Barry did the same with Dances with Wolves, which is one of the greatest soundtracks outside of the John Williams soundtrack, where he had to feel the movie. And that's kind of what I want to do. I've got some themes in mind, but, that's probably what's going to take the longest is actually getting the score down. Because that's something, we all, you've recorded music, Candy's recorded music. I wrote a lot of music. I played a lot of music, but if I sit down and try to record I'm never happy with it.
Well, I mean, we'll horse around with that. That'll be some fun stuff too. And, I've got a lot of experience doing that. I'm getting a message right now. Somebody saying, have you ever thought about releasing that movie of yours in a theater? It's weird. Like this is in the last couple of days. I don't know. Things have elevated to where, hey, we're getting some attention and I hope we don't let anybody down. I really think this stuff looks good. And I hope this, I know it's going to be good. Because I'm not going to, there's nothing, we're not answering to anybody, and there's no reason to release anything that nobody's, like, if there's a scene that sucks, we'll just go reshoot the scene. And I think that's something that, it's a learning process too. I think a lot of times we're going to sit there and we're going to look at something and be like, wow, we need to have something there. Like one of the things I'm concerned about is transitions between scenes.
I'm very concerned about that with sound.
Yeah. Well, that could be, I can rig sound. You just copy sound. You can copy the audio track from somewhere else where it's quiet and just kind of bleed it in But and score can kind of, you fade things in and up the score and stuff. There's ways to kind of, I'm getting blown up with these messages, but you can do that. But the thing that I'm worried about is just little things that we can fix. Like, are we going to do one scene of me and Candy, and how are we going to get back to me and Candy for the next scene, and just stuff like that. So,
well, and this is something we talked about Saturday, is we walked, if a crew, there's 100 different people to do one specific thing each, and we're doing this with 2 to 4 people. So like you're talking about the transactions and stuff, and transitions and continuities and things like that. That's all stuff that me and you are really, spearheading it. I'd like to have, somebody on set. Michael's comes out with us. Keith Gavins comes out with us as many times as he can. And Candy is, I don't want any of this on her. I don't want any of the production stuff on her, because I want her to concentrate on her scenes.
Right on.
But me and you, as a part of acting in the movie, I mean, like we always say, Candy's the lead, but I mean, you're in every scene with her. So, you guys are both the leads in this movie. Me and Travis are in it for, 10 minutes. And, but, it's like the good thing about not having a huge crew and us doing it ourselves is that we filmed 15 to 20 scenes Saturday, which would have been a month of shooting if we had a full crew.
We shot at least 11 or 12 scenes. And then even more asides. I mean, if you're talking about every camera shot, then we probably shot almost 30 different camera shots of stuff that's going to be content in the movie. So, yeah, we did a lot, and that was only 7 hours. We only were out there for 7 hours, or 6 hours, 6.5 hours. The first day of shooting, we were together 12 hours. Most of it was driving to Bryson City and waiting on people to shut the hell up.
Yeah, that's true. Now I'm trying to get on here and see some of these comments. We got a lot of people commenting. Look at Jackie Russell.
I never knew.
I never knew. I mean, I knew that I knew her name was Jackie, but I didn't know her last name. Yeah, a lot of. Man, I just man, that's a lot of comments, man. People are watching this without Candy. That's another thing. Me and you now have to catch up with Candy, because I gave her the idea for promoting this. Is the best way to promote it is like me and her both, and you too. We could take a picture of ourselves doing something stupid, and it gets 300 interactions on Facebook. But then you write down, "Hey, we're making a movie and all sorts of interesting shit," and it gets 5 interactions. So I'm like, let's mix that together. Right. And Candy, puts a picture up, promotes a TV, ASY TV, promo code Funky when you subscribe, because you love us. Please. And, but she puts up a picture with it, and, like the thirsty dudes come rolling in. Her friends come popping in. It's got 300 likes in an hour. I'm like, oh, you got to catch up. We got to start duck facing. We got to do Tommy Henry's listening. Tommy, you gotta teach us how to do the bedazzled pants and duck face.
Well, Tommy, if he's listening, he's the one that was sending me some of these messages. I've gotten like 15 different messages since the show, but he's sitting there talking about, I guess, his theater. He and his brother are going to be opening up, which I'm excited about that. It's going to be. I
am really excited.
And I got to tell you, if Tommy is listening, I hope he is. Me and my wife, when we first moved down to Knoxville, there was a thing called the Kingston 4 on Kingston Pike, and a little 4-screen theater out there where I guess Chuck E. Cheese is right now, and also the expensive puppy place out there on Kingston Pike. But we wanted to turn that into a grindhouse. So that's something that is congruent with. I mean, can you imagine having an all-night grindhouse
Oh
I'll
God! And
quit.
if they would do like there was a theater in Chicago that every Friday they would play Rocky Horror, and people would show up and do the whole Rocky Horror thing, and then they'd have an Evil Dead 2 once a
Yeah.
month, and they do all this different stuff. But man, I would be there all the time. I'd Dr. Frankenfurter it up, man. I'd be out there in the fishnets,
Yeah.
and yeah, well, maybe. I mean, I've done it before, but I just those days were so much fun, and they're gone. And we could bring. I mean, Tommy and Isaac have a chance to kind of try to bring it back, but people are too uptight nowadays, man. They ain't cool. Like I said, go to a bar, and when they open up, go to a bar and watch human beings. And if you're 40, 50 years old, and remember how bars used to be, where everybody's dancing, having a good time, it's loud, it's laughing. Now everybody's just too afraid to do anything. All it is a bunch of people sitting there looking at their phones and taking selfies, talking about we're crazy. You're not crazy. You're stupid.
No, man, you're simple. And I love people watching. I always have. It's gotten boring with people having to look at their phone now, but because that's all people do. But I like looking at the girls who are just sitting here like this. They'll be out with their friends and they'll be looking like this, Luke, at their face. Then somebody brings out a damn phone, and all of a sudden, tits perk up. Oh, hi, and they're doing this with the little peace sign and the crap. And then as soon as the pitch is taken, they're sitting back with this just horrible expression on the face. Man, people are just.
Well, I mean, guys are afraid to dance. Guy, I don't know why guys are afraid to dance. Look, I can't dance.
They look stupid.
I'm 6'8", 300 pounds. Or shit, I'm sorry, I'm going back in old Luke. I'm 6'8", 250 pounds, and I'll dance all day. I can't dance, but I'll do it because that's what people are doing, and that's our pro. That's me and you in a nutshell, man. You give us an opportunity to dance, we're going to dance. And if you don't give us the opportunity, we're going to take the opportunity to dance. Me and you I'm tired of watching the world be sedentary. I'm tired of them sitting on their ass doing nothing but playing on their phones and then they get together and they talk about bullshit. I want people out doing their thing. We're out doing our thing, and that's what I was getting at earlier with people. Let me be in the movie. No. No, do your own thing, man. I'm not gonna take my platforms anymore and give them to other people that haven't given me a platform.
God. You've always been too nice, and in the last couple of years when we've been knocking on television door, you would give spots away to people that didn't deserve it, and they would end up stabbing you in your back and all that stuff. And me and you aren't to the place to where we can give yet. That's the other thing. Like, we're doing well. Financially, we're probably doing better than we have in a long time, both me and you. That's why we can actually make this movie. That's why I'm excited, man. It's these guys coming at me telling me that we can make this kind of money making a movie that's this quality and stuff, and I'm excited. But even if we do well with this movie, it's still going to be a lot of – the hard part is going to be selling this shit and driving and going to Iowa – and going to Ohio and going to Arkansas.
That's the stuff I'm looking forward to, though. That to me, that hustle sounds beautiful.
It does, but I mean, I know when I used to play music, sometimes when you drive all the way to Wichita Falls, Texas, and 4 people are there, that's a long fucking drive back. So,
well, I mean, but me and you have done a lot of driving with little payoff. We've got me and you have drove. Illinois, Chicago area 4 or 5 times. We've gone to Toledo area a bunch. We've gone all over the place, Pennsylvania, and I live for that stuff. And if there's a payoff, and what we don't have to do?
It's the best.
We don't have to. We drive to Chicago. We hand them a flash drive and say, play this. We don't have to get in a wrestling ring. We don't have to pick up a guitar. Just here, play that.
Yeah. Well, Tessa's saying she's the only one, and when she's the only one that dances when she dances. But yeah, but that's the thing too. Can you imagine this, Luke? This is another idea. This is just me talking to you as a friend. Yeah. You know what we could do before the movie is we could have Let It Snowman as a freaking little like a Pixar trailer thing.
Yeah.
And people are going to be like, what the hell? And then like afterwards, man, if we have garner enough interest to have a Q&A, then it's like us in Toledo and Knoxville and all these places we've done these in Mattoon, Illinois, where we roast the room.
Oh, I love roasting.
In Gatlinburg. That's my favorite thing. I love that. That's like freaking stand-up comedy to me. But we have an opportunity to have a lot of fun doing this. But right now, just focused on making the best damn movie possible. And I swear to God, if you're watching this, we're going to jump off here in a few minutes, but if you're watching this, if you see me and Luke, you know, we've got a side TV, Wrestling with Ghosts, Haunted Graves, It Happened to Me, all the comedy stuff. Me and him are going to have a comedy sketch show coming up. You know, a lot of cool things me and Luke do. We're going to start wrestling together I'm going to start wrestling when the coronavirus thing ends a little bit. But, you know, so there's all this stuff that we do. Me and him have talked about playing music again, and I've always been interested in doing a Jack White and a Jack Black show.
Jack White and Jack Black did like a little mini tour together.
Well, still, it could be like a tribute, but like you do the Jack White songs, I do the Jack Black song. But anyway, there's all this stuff, but the thing that to me that I'm focused on and what I really want to do is this. This movie is important to me because I think the Legend of Spearfinger is interesting, and she's a good horror movie bad guy that can be explored in sequels because we're not really exploring her in this movie actually. But this is
we could pass it on to other people to explore because there's no trademark on it. Say, you know, somebody wants to make a sequel.
No, it's us, it's ours, man. putting her on the movie screens, us, baby. So they'll have to pay us, but the other thing is the stories these are based on are my brother's stories, and besides funk band stories and stories about Jesus, these are the best stories I've ever heard in my life. Man, is what happened to my brother when he was a dumbass and didn't know what he was doing and with the trouble he got into in the woods, and you know now he's like his
hiking mishaps. Change that. Hiking mishap on the website. It says hiking mishaps.
Don't out me on the podcast for 2 days. I'm asking you guys to proofread it and tell me what's good before I launch the thing.
But you said mishaps. I mean, it's like wacky mishaps with a big fucking in the eye. Hey,
he stepped on a rattlesnake and wrestled a bear for his shoe back after he spilled ramen noodles on him.
We got to get a bear that Shane Williams wrestled, and you have to take your shoe back from him.
That's funny. Well, I'm going to jump off here at 10 o'clock. The Horsefly Chronicles radio show is going to have Kirby, who's going to be our co-star. Hopefully, we get to shoot with her this weekend, depending on the weather. And the mystery of the Horsefly Chronicles. I'd love to hear what Phil Saragusa has to say. I love that guy.
If you guys listen to this, this is our inside gig. They're not listening to us, and it's not ribbing on them. I mean, it's ribbing on them, but it's not like talking shit. But Phil Saragusa has got the best. He's got like an adjective brain, and he's just like everything is like, and it was horrifying, and it was this thing was fear inducing, and we had this terrifying experience, and it was full of mishaps.
Yeah, when we do their episode, we may poke fun at Phil, but it's all in love, and they were super generous to let us into the home, and we had a great time. We filmed not only that show, but Taint My Ride, which is one of my favorite Big and Funky moments. What's another thing? It's stupid, and this is another thing that's funny about us is I'm trying to fix. I had some problems with a couple of my websites. One of them was my taxi business, and so I'm sitting there on Google looking for Funkmaster V's Uptown Cabs of Renown. The fourth thing that pops up is a website that puts Funkmaster V cab service, and it talks about the taxi cab. Underneath it, giant letters, Taint My Ride. So my potential customers, because of the synergy of what we do, they're going to be sitting there going, okay, that's a little funny name. I guess we'll take them. And they're going to like scroll down and see Taint My Ride. And they're going to be like, no,
No,
No, I ain't riding in that damn thing.
He put taints on it.
What, they got taints all over the seat?
You know, I watched the Tim Capello thing again yesterday, and that I don't care if not a single person on the planet found that funny besides me and you. I horse laughed through that stupid thing.
The one thing I can say about Big and Funky Productions comedy shit is it's a million times better than any of the double-aught Saturday Night Live stuff and anything with Piscopo in it. So I still feel like we're still better than most Saturday Night Live skits.
And if we were on Saturday Night Live, that everybody would get it. But the fact that people don't know us and they don't understand our sense of humor, I think that's where it's missed. It's like, you know, somebody said to me last week, they said, you know, you're just kind of not being a dick. She wasn't being a dick. She was just kind of saying, you know, she goes, you're not as sexy as you think you are. and I was, or no, attractive. You're not as attractive as you think you are. And I was like, no, I am every bit as attractive as I think I am. You're just not in on the joke. You know,
you saying that to a girl ever?
Oh no, I don't give a shit. I say whatever I want, but it's just, and but it's bluster, it's bravado, it's, you know, it's
we're
funny.
Wrestlers.
Yeah, and even if not, I'm a shit talker. I'm
Kirby said something. I put I don't know if it was a skit. Oh, I put a picture of me and of Candy that you took where the angel rays were coming down from heaven. Right. And it looked like we were doing middle school homework. And I said, when you do a movie for SAG, people don't realize you got to do middle school homework for underage or for misfortunate children in middle school. And Kirby sent me his message. I thought this wasn't a SAG movie. I said, honey, we're pro wrestlers. We just talk shit just to get people to laugh at the picture, to look at the hashtag.
I grew up playing basketball on the south side of Chicago. And basketball was the second thing we did. The first thing we did was talk shit.
Right on.
I mean, I'd go home and think, my mother's a terrible person. Did you hear those things she said about her, or they said about her? But, you know, that's who I am. That's who you are. We're ball breakers. We talk shit. And I'm tired of...
we're losing... There's not that many of us left, man. Everybody's trying to be nice, and that's good in a way, and God bless everybody. But I don't know, people are going to start shooting each other if they can't let off steam in innocent ways and have reckless speech and be able to talk shit with their friends.
Yeah.
People are going to start killing each other. We're going to build it up, pin it up too much.
Yeah. And everybody bust each other's balls. We got to go. It's, be sure to listen to our co-star Kirby tonight on the Horsefly Chronicles Radio. If you're not subscribed to this YouTube channel, you better do that shit now, because if not, we're going to come to your house and we're going to subscribe to you and click the bell.
We're at 828, baby.
Yeah. So
we're getting up there, almost monetized again.
And then they'll change it to where we're not
2,500.
We're not for children because you keep saying fuck.
No, if you're for children, they don't pay you.
Oh, okay.
Fuckity fuck. Hey, I'm going to call you here. I need to talk to you about something business-wise. You're not going to bed yet, are you?
No. I'm going to try to stay up and listen to Curbs.
All right, man. I'll call you right now. See you guys. Thank you for everybody and everything, and God bless.
Big and Funky loves you, babies.
That's true.